Hi, great question today about doing or using hypnosis online with clients. The question is this: I've never done hypnosis online because I'm frightened that the client might fall asleep, and therefore I feel uncomfortable about doing online hypnosis. Has anybody got experience working online and the pros and the cons of doing that? I think working online with clients using ACH is brilliant for lots and lots of reasons. There's a couple of disadvantages, which I'll talk about in a second, but working with clients online is really, really good. The client gets to stay at home in the safety and comfort of their own space, and they're comfortable there. They don't have to travel. They don't have to find somewhere to park. They don't have to add time on before the session and after session to make sure they can get there and back again. They don't have to worry about being in a stranger's office or room or whatever. They are completely safe and comfortable in their own space. And that gives you an incredible advantage straight away because your client is relaxed. And hopefully, the tension and the worry about being in a strange place is dissipated by that. The other advantage of working online using ACH and hypnosis is that you can see clients pretty much anywhere. You're not restricted to a local zone. You can see people 100 miles away, 1,000 miles away, or just 50 miles away. It's really interesting because I started seeing my clients online completely by accident back in the middle of 2019. A gentleman who lived about a 15-minute drive from me asked me if I could do it online because, getting into my town is a pain in the neck and parking is really challenging and all that kind of stuff. And me being me, I said, well, I've never done it before, but let's try it. And guess what? We did the session and I got exactly the same result as if he was sat next to me in my office. And that led me to seeing 99% of all of my clients online. It is so flexible. It means you don't actually need an office. I'll tell you what the secret, I'm not in an office anymore. I had one for a while, but I got rid of it because I wasn't using it to see people. I now work from my own apartment, which means that I don't have to travel to and from an office. I don't have to pay rent, which is really, really great. Now, obviously, you have to do your diligence. If you can say that word properly. The person who sent this message, this question, was concerned about a client falling asleep remotely. So when you start any kind of hypnotherapy session, you need to do a little bit of a health and safety reminder for your client and for yourself. For example, if the client's at home, are they sitting comfortably? Oh, yeah, please, one thing, do not do a session when a person is driving in a car or not somewhere that they are confident is safe. Yeah. The whole idea of doing it remotely is that they're in the comfort of their own space. So if they're in a car and if there's a chance they could drive off straight away, I strongly suggest that you don't do that session, that you wait until they are somewhere safe in their office or at home or whatever. Also, make sure when start working with the client that there's no sharp objects or anything they could, if they did kind of fall asleep, that they could fall onto. Yeah, use your common sense. Just ask the client to check to make sure there's no sharp edges, that they're not, if they do fall asleep, they're going to fall backwards into the chair and they're going to be nice and safe and comfortable. What else could we need to be concerned about? Yeah, just make sure that the client is not going to be disturbed because when you're in an office, you control the environment, but you can't control the client's environment. So make sure they're not expecting any deliveries. There's no dogs or cats or whatever that are going to distract them. That the kids are at school, that their significant other is not going to walk into the room and create a disturbance because we want the client to be as relaxed and as comfortable as possible. And we don't want them having to go, yeah, yeah, darling, it'll be there in half an hour kind of thing. We don't want them to be disrupted. So no washing machine on, no cooking on the stove, no deliveries expected, all that kind of thing. Very simple, very practical. What else can I think of? I can't think of any other disadvantages with working with people online. Like I said, I get the very same response as if I was in this, in the same room as the person. And it's just so practical. All you need is an app like Zoom or FaceTime or any of the other video conferencing apps, and you're set to go. You really are set to go, and it really is that simple. You use exactly the same process that you would do with a client face to face. With ACH, you don't need any tools, you don't need any equipment, you don't need any background music, you don't need any tapes, you don't need any of that, so you don't need the scripts. So you can just be fully in eye contact with your client. Yeah, that's one disadvantage I just remembered. You need to make sure that if the client's using their phone, a lot of my clients use a phone, that they can actually put the phone down somewhere where it's going to be stable so they're not holding onto it. Because if they're holding onto the phone like this while they're talking to you, they're distracted because they're holding onto the phone. Also, you've got to make sure that the phone has you can see the client's face, because if the they've got the phone down here and it's looking up at the ceiling or looking down at their knees or something, that's no good to you. So you need to make sure that the camera is set up properly so that you can see the client's face, and also that the client can see you and that there's no feedback. The whole idea is to make it comfortable and safe and enjoyable for both you and the client. So let me have a quick think. Health and safety, making sure that they're in a safe, comfortable, warm place, so they're not going to be distracted, and that whatever piece of tech they're using is somewhere stable and you can see their face. The positive side of things is you can see people anywhere. You don't have to stick to the local region. They are going to feel safe and relaxed. You can feel safe and relaxed, and then you can just carry out your hypnosis procedure in the normal way you would do. If you've got any questions at all, please drop me a comment below or send me a DM. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.